guys, it's Julian today. I'm super excited to be talking to you about how you can use things like this Eventide space, reverb pedal, and different pedals and effects to create really interesting transitions and different sounds that you just really wouldn't get just working in the box. There's a lot that can be done in the computer, but there's also a lot of stuff that you just don't get in the computer when it comes to like tweaking knobs and kind of doing sort of live automation on the fly. So I'm going to be talking to you today about why something like this is really valuable for that. Now I want to thank Eventide for sending this over. This is a beautiful reverb pedal. I've been playing with it for a while. It's got some of the best reverb algorithms in the world, and you can really work with it. You know, again, all these knobs here really allow you to do interesting stuff on the fly. And again, just get some live automated sounds that you really wouldn't be able to get in the computer, or it wouldn't be as easy or as inspiring. So thank you for sending this over, Eventide. The link to the pedal is in the description. Also want to let you guys know, I've just dropped a new sample pack. It's called 50 Ultimate Essential Track Effects. You can see it right over here. So what it is, it's a collection of 50 effects. I've made a lot of these with hardware, like you're going to see in this video. And yeah, you can see there's everything that you need here. You know, it's a bunch of like really nice, like there's cool sounds, but then there's also like some very usable like sweeps and stuff like that in here. But then also just like some cool granular effects like this. And pretty much everything in between. You know, I just wanted to create a really solid collection of effects for you guys. And it's not that expensive either. At just $10, you get a huge collection of effects. Plus, I have a demo track as well, and you get the full project file for that. So you get a bunch of stuff to make your tracks go to the next level. Again, this is really going to help support me. If you guys enjoy these videos, definitely go grab it. It's just for $10. But you get all the effects that you will ever need. So yeah, links on the top of the description. Thank you so much for the support. If you guys enjoyed these videos, definitely go grab that. And yeah, so thank you very much guys for the support, and thank you to Eventide. Let's dive into the video. Okay, so I got this little house tune that I'm working on. I will play it for you guys real quick. Pretty cool. I think that it just needs a little bit more magic though with the little chord stabs. I think there could be, you know, something extra going on there to make things a little bit more interesting. It's got a good groove, but it needs some interesting sound design. And I think a really great way to do this, especially with this style of music or something where it's very rhythmic, is to have some hardware effects that you're turning the actual knob on and sort of doing like live automation. But because you're recording that as audio while you're doing it, rather than like automating it in the computer, we're going to get some really interesting results. So I have here the space. I've got it on this setting. I really like this one for this kind of stuff. And basically what's happening is we have the external audio effect right here. This audio is just going to this output 3 on the back of my interface here. So that is going all the way into this, which I'll talk about in a second. And then we're going into here, and then we're going out of that back into input 1 and 2, and then it's getting the audio from that. So now if we turn on the external audio effect, so now turn on the external audio effect, you might hear a little bit of something, but now if I go over to the pedals, so you see, you can really get another level of like interesting automations with this. I mean, in theory, you can do that in the computer, just automating parameters inside of Ableton, but you know, you're really not going to quite get that same sound that you're going to get just sitting there and tweaking. It's literally just the mix knob, and you can turn almost anything on here and just keep getting like interesting things, like even just like turning that up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to record me doing some stuff. Like I'm not even going to hear the track. We're just going to play with it, kind of see what comes out, you know, get some different ideas. And then we'll just have a really cool audio track full of these interesting like reverb things. Then now we can go and we'll layer that with the original one. And we're going to get something really, really interesting. So check this out. So over here you can see now we've got the chord track. We've got it all set up the same way. But then I have this audio track, which is getting the input from that chord track. So now all I have to do is just hit record. And now it's recording everything that comes out of this track onto here. So now if we go and do... So it's just recording every single thing that I do on this into the computer. So now we can just record some interesting stuff and see what's going to come out. And then now we've got, so there's our chord track, and then we've got our audio track here. And now we just take it, and I'm going to drag it out so we have like the whole thing. So now we have a bunch of these cool little reverb things. And it's interesting because you can see it's right underneath the other track. So now we can just take that, and like maybe we'll chop out like something like that. And we can just make like these cool like reverb effects. Like maybe that one will just stop abruptly, and it's gonna sound a lot more interesting. You know, now it sounds like this, and you just have that as like this cool little effect. And I think the key here is that as long as you already have a solid idea and you're just using the effect to kind of generate more inspiration and more ideas on top of that rather than making it all about the effects, that's the key right there. Alright, so now we got this. And what I think I'm going to do here, so we've got this, but then I've also got this, and we can grab pieces of the sound with this, and essentially kind of like create like this warping texture into this. So I'll show you how that's going to work. So yeah, as you can see, you can really create stuff that you're not able to create in the computer. I mean, especially like with that, like, I mean, some of the stuff you were hearing there, like, maybe you could get that on the computer. I don't really see how it's going to be this exact same way of doing it, though. And I think this is the key with this stuff, is that, like, ultimately, it's not about, like, oh, yeah, I have a cool reverb pedal. Obviously, some of the best reverb algorithms in the world are in this pedal. It sounds amazing. You could just use it as the most basic, straightforward reverb if you want. But also, this is a really great inspiration generator. And once you start combining it with other stuff, and all this is doing is basically just grabbing, like, chunks of what you're playing in. It's just kind of like a sampler, and then you're just kind of, like, flipping through it, basically, through those grains and the sound. You put it into some reverb, and you get some really interesting stuff. And then, same deal here. Let's take this and try chopping it up. And with this one, I think what's interesting is you can see, so we see the MIDI notes here, and then I can kind of like fit the audio in between those, like this one just going like, we can make that like fit perfectly in between, so now we get and this sounds really inspirational, and it's some stuff that I just don't think that you could do in the computer, like I said. And I think this is the real power of having something like this, and just sending audio through it, and just quickly tweaking it. Alright, we got one more chord step, let's try some even cooler stuff. And I think we can really easily just tweak see there's all these different reverb algorithms in here, like black hole, like tremolo verb, mangled verb, dynaverb. Let's try a shimmer, where basically it's going to be reverb, but the reverb is going to be an octave up. Yeah, that's really cool. And then, I think really one of the biggest keys here is just how quick the inspiration is. You turn this thing on and you start getting inspired, and it's not just like this crazy, long convoluted process where you're sitting there tweaking plugins for 10 hours and you're sitting there like listening to like, oh, should the mix be on 60% or 70%? It's like, no, you're just getting in, recording some sounds, getting creative. It's not about having full tweakability. It's not about being able to go back later and just easily, quickly change like the reverb settings or whatever. But that's the point. You're stuck with something, and now you have to go and take it and turn it into a track. So now let's check out the finished track with our new additions and all the cool sounds that we just got out of the space. So there you have it. You can see it's going to generate some really cool stuff for your tracks. You know, again, you're not always going to know exactly what you're aiming for when you start with something like this, but I think that's the goal, and it's going to give you some random inspiration and some different stuff that you just can't get working entirely in the box. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of good reverbs in the computer, but one, I still don't think most of them sound as good as the reverb algorithms in here, and two, you're not getting that hands-on thing. You know, you're not able to just quickly record the automation and like that and just have it forever. So this is really something valuable for coming up with ideas and coming up with interesting stuff. So I want to thank Eventide once again for sending over the space. I've got the link to it at the top of the description, and also I'll link the Red Panda Particle 2 that I used to do this cool warp thing. Shout out to both of those companies. Thank you so much again to Eventide for sending this over. You know, it's a really great pedal, and I'm just getting started with it. Definitely some more stuff will be coming with this thing in the future. Like I said in the beginning, you can get my new effects pack right at the top of the description. If you guys liked what you heard in this track and you like those kind of sounds, you know, these things that, frankly, I don't think any other sample packs have right now, then definitely go grab this. The link is at the top of the description, like I said. It's actually just $10, but this really helps support me. Plus, you get 50 awesome, exciting effects that you can use in your tracks that are really fresh sounding. You know, it's not just the same old stuff, but there's some more interesting takes on some of those sounds that we all need to make tracks. I made it with hardware. You know, it's all super interesting, super cool stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for the support, guys. Everybody who goes to grab that, it really helps support me and keep me going so I can keep bringing you guys new videos every single day. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.